Go ahead, Pam.
Okay, now we will call the June meeting of the City of Akron Housing Appeals Board to order. And I lost my screen. Board members, you received the minutes of our previous meeting, which was the February meeting, in the mail. Are there any additions, corrections, comments on those minutes? Hearing none, the minutes stand approved as mailed. John, are you going to swear in the staff now and then individually the people as they appear before us?
Yes. And there's only 2 cases where we anticipate people appearing. So I think we might want to take those either as they arrive, or if they don't arrive, you probably want to push those to the end so they have a chance to arrive. And if they don't arrive by the end of your meeting, then you should go ahead and hear those. So I guess what I'd like to do now is swear Jody in.
And Dwayne, just in case.
Sure. Jody, do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
I do.
Thank you, Dwayne. Good.
Thank you. Then, as I understand it, we have nobody waiting right now to appear. Is that correct?
James Lawson is in the waiting room.
Which case is that, Jody?
That is for 862 Jason. I believe he's an attorney for the owner. We can go ahead and hear that case if you want.
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and let him in.
Okay, it looks like he's here. It looks like he's joined us.
Okay, Jody, could you give us the case information?
Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and do a share screen and pull the pictures up on the split screen for you guys, and then I'll read the information while you're looking at the pictures.
Okie dokie.
Let's see. All right, those are the photos for Jason. New case 5779 862 Jason Avenue. And that there has been no compliance with housing orders issued against this property, which is vacant, dilapidated, heavily fire damaged. It is tax delinquent, has been secured by the city, and is not registered. The deteriorated condition of this property is a blighting influence on the neighborhood, and the housing division recommends that it be demolished with all costs assessed. The property was inspected last on Friday, June 12th, 2020. That's when these photographs were taken. Repairs include broken windows, repair the rear roof, missing downspouts, missing and damaged gutters, trash and rubbish, trim trees and bushes away from the structure, rear porch foundation, no railings for the rear second floor doors, and there's extensive fire damage to the interior.
Thank you. Do we have someone who wants to talk to us about this property? Do we have a problem getting them connected? Jody, are we supposed to be hearing you? I can't hear you.
I know.
Okay.
Mr. Lawson, you need to unmute your audio if you'd like to speak regarding this property.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Oh, great. This is
Could we
my
have-
first Zoom experience.
Yeah, we're all learning, aren't we? Could we
Yes.
have your name and address for the record, please?
Yes, my name is James Lawson, and my home address is 640 Harrison Avenue, Akron, Ohio, 44314.
And you are representing Top of the Mountain Christian Ministries?
No, I'm representing Beneficial Building Services. We own the property to the south of the property that we're talking about. I have 2 parcels of land, and on that land is the corporate headquarters for Beneficial Building Services, a contract cleaning company that my son is currently president and running.
I just want to interrupt you real quick. John, if he's not here representing the owner as an attorney, then he would need to be sworn in.
Sir, you're representing a neighboring property owner, correct?
I own the property.
So you're appearing as an attorney on behalf of the owner, or you're appearing in your own capacity?
In my own
Just wondering
capacity.
Pardon me?
In my own capacity.
Okay, I'm just going to swear you in then. If you could raise your right hand.
Okay.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Okay, Mr. Lawson, what would you like us to know about this property at 302 Pine Grove?
Well, like I say, I own the property to the south of the Jason Avenue property. And it's been vacant for a number of years. It looks bad. I won't repeat all the things that were already mentioned about it, but it's bad for having a company that has been in business for 37 years and employs over 100 people per year. When you have employees coming for employment and you have adjacent properties that look like that, it's just not a very good image for the company. We do business all over the Northeast Ohio area, and occasionally, not very often, even clients come to our headquarters. So my interest is in getting it tore down and utilizing that property in a different way. I had suggested in information that I submitted that we would even consider care of the property if we had some kind of mow to own program connected with the property. We have our property professionally landscaped. It's mowed every week. And we just want to have the area, look good. And so it's an eyesore for the area.
And how long did you say it had been vacant?
I don't know for sure, but it's been vacant. I want to say like 5 or 6 years, I think. The building, one of my pet peeves, the backyard butts up against our garages. About every 2 years, we have to paint those side of the garage. You can't even get to it. There's so many weeds and trees and the overgrowth of shrubbery and things, you can't even get to maintain our building. Like I say, the property looks bad, and I would like to see it tore down and filled in and planted with grass.
Board members, any questions for Mr. Lawson? Jody, have we been I know you said the inside is heavily fire damaged. Have we been inside?
Let's see here. No, at the initial inspection, the property was secure, but we had received the complaint and did have a copy of a fire report stating that the property was fire damaged.
And we really have had no contact with the owners, is that correct?
Correct.
Have we, just as I think back, have we dealt with these owners previously?
There
They
have
sound
been
familiar.
at least 2 properties that come to mind that have been ordered demolished that were owned by this particular company.
That's what I thought. Board members, any questions? Or is there a motion? Remember to unmute before you speak.
I have a motion.
Go ahead.
New case 5779. The property at 862 Jason Avenue. In that, there has been no compliance with orders issued against this property. The property is vacant, dilapidated, fire damaged. Property is seriously tax delinquent, has been secured by the city, and is unregistered. The deteriorating condition is a blighting influence in the neighborhood. I move we raise with cost assessed.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed?
Aye.
Was that someone opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Jody, could you explain to Mr. Lawson what happens when a property is ordered raised?
Anytime a property is ordered demolished by the Housing Appeals Board, we have to hold the file for 30 days in case we would receive an appeal of that demolition order. If we do not receive an appeal, we would then forward the information to our demolition program. They would then inspect the property for asbestos, have the utilities disconnected, and then they would be able to proceed with demolition. Because this is a fire damaged structure, it would probably get torn down a little faster. I can tell you that there will be some delay. And also from what you stated earlier, I wanted to advise you, the city does not take possession of the property. We just eliminate the nuisance. So if you were interested in purchasing the property, you would need to contact the recorded owner.
I see, okay.
And can we make you aware that there is serious tax liability on it, almost $10,000.
Hey, thank you, Mr. Lawson, for
All
taking the
right,
time.
thank
to
you.
come in.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it when the neighbors come and talk to us about a property because you're the ones that are having to deal with it on a daily basis. So we appreciate
Right.
it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jody, do we have anybody else waiting to speak to us?
There is currently no one else in the waiting room.
Okay,
Okey dokey.
So the only other one I was expecting someone to show up for was the garage at Colony Crescent. So we'll go ahead and do the other cases and then just save that one for last.
Yep, sounds good.
Okay. All right, so share screen. Let's see here. Whoa. Got a little happy and let's see,
The
share.
power that you have. Are we doing 6th Street?
Yeah, we're gonna do 6th Street. I just wanted to pull that up.
Yeah.
There we go. But bear with me, this is the first time I've had to do this on a Zoom meeting, so. All right, new case 5777, 2096 6th Street Southwest. There has been no compliance with housing orders issued against this property, which is vacant, dilapidated, has been secured by the city. The deteriorated condition of this property is a blighting influence on the neighborhood, and the Housing Division recommends that it be demolished with all cost assessed.
Okay, there's really been nothing happening on this. There's been no progress.
Correct.
We've had new owners since the original orders were written. The new owners done nothing. We've had additional complaints. The owner failed to appear for a hearing. Okay, lovely history.
I know that it's difficult to see in the photograph, but if you look at the last picture down at the bottom, you can kind of tell, though this whole roof is collapsed. So it's collapsed and fallen into the second floor of the home.
Wonderful. Okay, are there any questions from board members about this property? If not, is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion, please.
Go ahead.
Okay. New case 57, excuse my dog. He's making a motion. New case, New case 5777 20966 6th Street Southwest. There has been no compliance with the housing orders issued against this property, which is vacant, dilapidated. It is secured by the city. The deteriorated condition of this property is a blighting influence on the neighborhood. I move that this property be ordered demolished according to the, with all costs suitably assessed.
Second.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor of the motion, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Okay, the next case is new case 5780188 Lake Street. There has been no compliance with housing orders issued against this property, which is vacant, recently found open, heavily vandalized, dilapidated, the scene of police activity. It is heavily fire damaged. The owner's whereabouts are unknown. It is tax delinquent, has been secured by the city, and is not registered. The deteriorated condition of this property is a blighting influence on the neighborhood, and the Housing Division recommends that it be demolished with all costs assessed. There we go.
Charming.
Wow.
We have, boy, we have secured that one a ton of times, haven't we?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was open at the back, the board was pulled off the back door right here when I was there on Friday. So it's going to be secured again.
Wonderful. Any questions about this property from the board? And the homeowners have not seen it prudent to contact you or to make any progress. Is there a motion?
Make a motion.
Go right ahead.
New case 5780188 Lake Street. There has been no compliance with housing orders against this property that has been issued against this property, which is vacant, open, heavily vandalized, dilapidated, scene of police activity, heavily fire damaged, owner's whereabouts unknown, tax delinquent, secured by the city, not registered, and the deteriorated condition of this property is a blighting influence on the neighborhood. I move the property be raised with all costs assessed.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
Okay, new case 5781, 957 Marion Place. There has been no compliance with housing orders issued against this property, which is vacant, heavily vandalized, dilapidated. The scene of police activity, it is heavily fire damaged. The owner is deceased. It is tax delinquent and not registered. The deteriorated condition of this property is a blighting influence on the neighborhood, and the housing division recommends that it be demolished with all costs assessed.
Okay, any questions from board members?
I was wondering who's been paying the taxes.
I thought that was interesting.
Not that it doesn't deserve to be torn down, but it is interesting.
Do we know, Jody, on the title report information that we get, it shows two names for owners. And we show that one is deceased and one we don't know where they are. Is that the story?
Yeah, the only individual that we had on file was the estate of Faye Santiago.
Yeah, the name Raul M. Santiago shows up on that
Yeah, I do
title report.
see that on there, but it was not on the original. I can tell you that she does have family. Well, because it was in 2006, it transferred from Raul and Faye to just Faye.
Oh,
In the
Okay.
records here
okay.
from the county records.
Okay, I couldn't tell that from what we have.
Yeah, it doesn't have that listed on here, but I looked back at the original records from the county and it shows that in 2006, there was a transfer to just Faye.
Okay, and there's no family trying to claim this property at all.
No.
Okay, board members, if there are no questions, is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion, please.
Okey dokey.
New case 5781, 957 Marion Place. There has been no compliance with the housing orders issued against this property, which is vacant, heavily vandalized, dilapidated, police activity, heavily fire damaged. The owner is deceased and it is tax delinquent $134.48, which is very small. The deteriorated condition of this property is a blighting influence on the neighborhood, and I move that the property be demolished with all costs suitably assessed.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
There we go. New case 5782, 594 McKinley Avenue. There has been no compliance with housing orders issued against this property, which is vacant, open, heavily vandalized, dilapidated. The owner is deceased. It is tax delinquent, has been secured by the city, and is not registered. The deteriorated condition of this property is a blighting influence on the neighborhood, and the housing division recommends that it be demolished with all costs assessed.
This is another one that's been keeping our folks busy boarding it and reboarding it.
Mhm.
Any questions about this property from the board? If not, is there a motion?
New
I have
case.
a motion.
Go ahead, Kathy.
Okay, new case 5782-594 McKinley Avenue. Whereas there has been no compliance with housing orders issued against this property, which is vacant, open, heavily vandalized, dilapidated, owner is deceased, is tax delinquent, has been secured by the city, is not registered, and the deteriorated condition of this property is a blighting influence on the neighborhood. I move the property be raised with all costs assessed.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries.
There we go.
Okay, new case 5783-601 Winans Avenue. There has been no compliance with housing orders issued against this property, which is vacant, dilapidated, the owner is deceased, it is tax delinquent, has been secured by the city and not registered. The deteriorated condition of this property is a blighting influence on the neighborhood, and the housing division recommends that it be demolished with all costs assessed.
And here we are really talking tax delinquent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$22,000?
How does that go that long?
If the county doesn't deem the property worth it, then sometimes they don't sell the tax lien, or if they haven't figured out that it's vacant.
40 years worth of tax.
Well, it slipped through the cracks.
That's almost as old as I am.
Right. Any questions about this property other than the tax issue? If not, is there a motion?
I'd like to make a motion.
Go right ahead.
New case 5783-601 Winans Avenue. There has been no compliance with the housing orders issued against this property, which is vacant. It is dilapidated. The owner is deceased. It is tax delinquent $22,849.90, secured by the city and not registered. The deteriorated condition of this property is a blighting influence on the neighborhood, and I move that this property be demolished with all costs suitably assessed.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Have we had anyone show up to talk to us about Colony Crescent yet?
Not yet.
That's the last case.
They were given the 6 o'clock time, is that correct?
Correct.
Then I think we go ahead and hear it.
All right.
Unless everybody wants to just sit around for the next half an hour and wait and see if they show
Don't
up.
think so.
No,
Okay.
I don't know. You all look better on video than I do, so.
All right. For the last case then is new case 5778 156 Colony Crescent garage. There has been no compliance with housing orders issued against this garage, which is dilapidated, and the property is tax delinquent. We do have orders on the house as well. I did take a closer look at the garage on Friday. It is structurally sound, but there are repairs that need to be made. The siding needs repaired. It needs painted. The roof overhangs need repaired. It's missing one of the overhead doors, and I'm not sure if the left side door that is present, if it functions correctly. The owner did not contact me to schedule the inspection.
So,
It looks as though we have a history with this owner, just on this property. Evidently medical issues. We got a lot of letters from the doctor.
Correct. We've received numerous letters, supposedly sent by his doctor at the Cleveland Clinic, which has here labeled that it's an oncologist. Undergoing active treatment for prostate cancer. And that's the same thing we've been getting since the file started, as well as letters from Case Western Reserve Dentistry, stating that he's been undergoing dental implant surgeries.
Must be nice.
But he has, has he done anything, made any progress? I don't see, looking through the synopsis, I don't see any progress at all over the last couple of years. Has there been any?
There's been extremely minimal progress to the garage. I think that he did, you can see in the photographs, he closed off a window and closed off where the man door was, and then removed the one overhead door. But that was right. This meeting was originally scheduled for March, so everything had been sent out at that time for the March Housing Appeals Board hearing, and then our meeting was canceled like the day before the meeting was scheduled to happen.
And so he actually got 3 free months.
Correct. So I inspected the property prior to the original scheduled meeting, and those are the repairs that had happened after he received notification of the first hearing and before the first hearing. There have not been any additional repairs made to the garage since March.
and that was after a year and a half.
Correct.
On record. Okay.
And it looks as though, looking at the synopsis, he had asked for another extension, was told in early December that we would only grant Mr. Graham talked to him, said he would only grant an extension if he scheduled an interior inspection, which he, I assume, never did.
No, he's never scheduled an interior inspection of the property. The original complaint that we received had to do with the interior sanitary conditions, and we haven't been able to gain access.
And somewhere along the line, a year or so ago, one of the letters that we received, I think it was from the dental school, they also expressed concerns about the sanitary conditions of the property. But that's probably mostly the house. Right now, we're dealing with the garage.
Yeah.
Jody, you said it's structurally sound.
Right, I didn't see any, it was a quick inspection, but I did not see any structural issues. I don't feel that there weren't any large holes in the main roof, just at the overhangs. It doesn't appear to be leaning. I didn't see anything that would make me think that the walls or the roof were unstable.
I guess I'm sort of torn here. If it's structurally sound, which we don't usually see, you know, you would hate to to take it down and when it would be usable as a garage. However, it appears, can you tell if he's using it as a garage, Jody, or not?
There appears to be very little in the garage, and he parks in the driveway at the house.
And there
So at
doesn't
the
appear to
front
be
of
any
the
cracks.
driveway.
There
Doesn't appear
doesn't
to
appear to
be
be
cracks in the grass.
No,
Um,
no, the garage is not being used to store a vehicle.
Okay, that was my question. I don't know. My two thoughts are, one, if it's structurally sound, it could be salvaged without a tremendous investment, which would be nice for the property. The fact that he really, in almost a couple of years, has done very little to comply. And we also have orders on the house that have not been complied.
Right.
I'm wondering if demolishing the garage may be a kick in the seat of the pants to encourage him to do something with the house, because it would then be in more jeopardy, and allow him to do something to save the house. I don't know. What's
Possibly.
everybody think?
Pam, we've threatened houses that were more than structurally sound just for lack of progress and failure to comply. So the fact that this eyesore is structurally sound is no reason to leave it up.
I agree with that.
Is there a motion?
Madam Chair,
New
Make a
case.
Yes.
this is John York.
Oh.
Just before you make your motion, can I ask Ms. Forster a few questions about
Absolutely.
the notice? I just want to ask her about the notice process here, because this is a little out of the ordinary because we're doing this by Zoom. Ms. Forster, what efforts did you make to let the owner know of this meeting?
The owner contacted me by phone and left a message with his email. He additionally sent me an email responding to the notice that was sent to him for the hearing. We sent a notice by certified and regular mail and posted at the property, notice of the hearing.
Okay.
On those notices, it informed the owner to contact me directly so that I could provide him with the necessary information to attend this virtual hearing.
And did you provide him with that information?
I did. An email was sent to the owner, providing him the same link that was sent to all of the board members.
Okay. And it also advised that the meeting was at 6 o'clock,
Yes.
and it's now 6:41. Miss Ady, is there anyone in the waiting room?
There is not.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I had. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, John. Back to, is there a motion?
New case 5778. The property at 156 Colony Crescent garage only. In that, this structure has had no compliance with orders issued against it. It is dilapidated. The property is tax delinquent, and the deteriorated condition is a blighting influence in the neighborhood. I move we raise with cost assessed.
Second.
Before I call for a vote, Jody, let me ask one more question. Is it possible for you to check email or voicemail in case he's tried to contact you since this meeting started to say he couldn't get in for some reason?
Yes, I do not have any voicemails, and let me see here. And I have not received an email.
Okay, thank you. In that case, I think we gave him ample time to either sign on to the meeting if he chose to do that, or to contact you if he was having difficulty. So that being said, all in favor of the motion indicate by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Dwayne, let me ask, have demolitions been proceeding during this COVID halt?
Yes, I can tell you.
Yes, we demolitions were actually one of the activities that did not pause at all during the initial stages of the pandemic, when a lot of city functions were diminished. We did not diminish the demolition program at all.
Oh, good to know. Normally at this stage of our meetings, we need to sign the documents indicating what we did tonight. Obviously, we can't do that, but those are the ones. Yes. Jody, what would you like us to do?
Probably the easy, most convenient thing for all of us, honestly, is that if sometime tomorrow you could swing by the office, we'll have the documents at the front. You can just sign them real quick.
Okay, and you're on the 8th floor of City Hall?
Yes, we're on the 8th floor, the same building that we have our hearings in, but we're on the 8th floor.
Are there any of the board members that are not going to be able to get down there tomorrow?
But you need a ride. Okay.
What time will you be there till tomorrow, Jody?
Someone will be in the office because I get here before 7:30. So anytime from 7:30 to 4:30.
Okay, I'll come down first thing in the morning
Okay,
before I go to work.
appreciate it.
No problem.
Is that okay for everybody else? You can make it down sometime tomorrow?
Good.
Yeah.
Okie dokie. Thanks everybody for going with us on this virtual journey. And I'm assuming, Jody and Dwayne and John, I'm assuming that we don't know how long this is going to go on. Is that correct?
That's correct. I think for the time being, we're sort of planning on continuing virtual meetings, but that could be subject to change, based on how things go.
But right now, we will expect our July meeting to be in the same format.
That's my belief, yes.
As soon as we recess, I have a question for you, John.
Yeah, as soon as we adjourn, we can stop the live stream.
Then I think if there is nothing else, is there anything else for the good of the order before we do adjourn?
I have a question.
Yep.
My question is there any way that the signature pages can be sent to us so that we can virtually sign, or do we have to have the hand-printed, handwritten signature? Kind of like when you're dealing with real estate.
Right, we don't have the ability to accept electronic signatures. We don't have the programs available to us to send them out. And unfortunately, we have to have those signatures expeditiously. So yeah.
Okay, just an idea.
Okay, if there is nothing else, our next meeting is on July 21st, 2020, and we are adjourned.